Suge Knight speaks out on Diddy. This ought to be good.
PASCAL, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal.
What's up, y'all? Suge Knight was on Cuomo's show on News Nation. They did a phone call live on the show, and we got to take a look at this.
Look at it like this. I look at real plain and simple. Ain't no whistleblower. Facts is there. But right now, I don't care if it's T.I., I don't care if it's Rick Ross, I don't care if it's Jay, I don't care if it's Snoop, I don't care if it's Game, I don't care if it's Dre. Nobody's stepping up on the fact that you know what's going on.
Nobody's defending them.
You're right. Guys at Interscope.
That's not entirely true. Okay, let's keep it real. There are people that are actually coming out and speaking out on behalf of Diddy. Okay, we've heard Boosie, we've heard Faison Love, we've heard other people. Just an example of some people that have been speaking out about Diddy's arrest and about this whole thing. Some people are like, hey, is being freaky a crime? How could being freaky be a crime, right? Being nasty be a crime? Well, he allegedly, from all these allegations, he allegedly broke a lot of laws. And let's not forget, we also have a new lawsuit that just dropped by another woman, Talia Graves, that gives a scathing, unbelievable account of what she went through when she was invited over to his studios to talk about her then boyfriend's job, which is absolutely crazy. And of course, a lot of people are looking into that particular one. But like I said, no one's really speaking up for sure. But like a good portion of Hollywood is staying very, very quiet. There's just a few select that are speaking out on behalf of Diddy. Everybody else is playing the game of, I didn't know anything about these freak offs. I didn't know anything about Diddy and his alternative lifestyle and all that. So, you know.
You're right.
Okay.
Nobody is defending him, but that's why I was interested in hearing your perspective.
Okay, but you had a guy named Tubby. He used to work for Interscope.
Who's Tubby?
This guy's job was to bring underage girls and have sex with employees and other artists.
Word? Damn.
The point where his friend got caught up with the same thing. How they raided Puffy House for sex trafficking, they raided his friend house for sex trafficking.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
He never was an artist.
Sure. Can you say something? Can you say something positive?
Look at the whole situation.
Hold up. And who the hell is the person on the other line? Is that like a producer or somebody who helped connect this phone call? I'm kind of curious about that. Who's this other person that just said, can he say something positive about it? Like, what do you got positive to say about Diddy and his arrest? You know what I'm saying? But let me roll that back a tiny bit.
30 seconds remaining.
He never was an artist.
Sure. Can you say something? Can you say something positive?
Look at the whole situation.
Because you only got.
Everything I'm saying is positive. And I got to have him call right back.
All right, Suge, you call back. Do you think that Diddy?
He can do so.
Do you think Diddy knows enough that it's a very delicate balance that maybe investigators will want to know these other names and greatly reduce his exposure to criminality to time versus what people would do to keep him quiet?
Number one, I've been knowing him a long time, and we was friends. We're not enemies, but we were friends.
So wait a second. You mean to tell me the time when he went up there, at one of those award shows, and he's like, Suge Knight said, "Hey, so if you want a manager, or, if you don't want your manager, whatever, all up in the videos and all that, come out to death row, right?" So you're telling me that y'all were cool back then too? See, this is the moment when I got questions about that too, because let's keep it real. Y'all been friends? Y'all been cool? Y'all weren't enemies back in the day? What?
We was friends. We're not enemies, but we were friends.
So now I got another question for you, because I'm like, okay, so was that East Coast, West Coast beef just one big lie? Was it just to make things interesting, to stir things up? I'm just asking questions, because why would he sit there and say, yeah, we were cool, we were friends, if you clearly seemed like you weren't back in the day? Unless, I'll say this too, of course, times change, seasons change. They may have been enemies back in the day, but then found a way to reconcile the differences later on. Maybe that's what it was, but I'm still going to ask that question. And I know some of y'all are going to fire off in the comments section down below with your thoughts about that too. But I think that's interesting. But clearly, he could basically be saying present day, they cool right now.
He's not a dummy. So he's smart enough to work his magic. On top of that, this man right here, he's been involved with the FBI and most of his career.
So he's saying he's a Fed, or he's a informant. That Diddy's an informant of some sort. What? This is crazy.
He got powerful people. One of his partners who started his company with drug money, President Obama, got him out of prison. So It's not like he don't have no moves. So I don't think nobody should just count him out. I don't think he gonna lay down and just crawl in the corner and die. He probably going through a lot of shit right now, because he probably going through a lot of withdrawals for the drugs. But the industry got him on drugs.
So now he's saying he believes that Diddy is going through some serious withdrawals because of, I mean, he's had a decades-long addiction to substances for sure. I mean, if he's plying these people with these types of substances, okay, and what he's being alleged of doing, you're telling me that he's not trying those things himself? And then also, remember, when he got arrested, he was found with that pink powder. Clearly, he partakes. He's a connoisseur of these party favors for real.
My artist, one of the worst mistakes I could have made was protecting my artist is doing a deal at Interscope. When my artists used to pull up in valet, the Murdoch building, they'd get out, they smell like weed. When they clothes smell like weed. When they made it to any office, it would smell like weed. Those guys, for my artists, they introduced cocaine to my artists. So once they got on cocaine, once they got on drugs, once they got on alcohol, and that's when the weird stuff happened. And I think that's what took Puffy down that lane. Then you got to remember, Clyde Davis, Russell Simmons, Andre Arell.
Simon, come on.
You better believe it. Alcohol, drugs. He compromised his manhood. Because he was taught that. He got Usher as a kid. They never recorded no songs, but alcohol, drugs,
Simon.
sex. Justin Bieber. And see, they do these things to take control. They're not doing, there's nothing wrong with being gay. If you choose to be gay, that's your preference. But they're doing this to people for control. It's a power situation. Okay, look at it.
Now, okay, guys. I mean, there's a lot to dissect in this video for show. First off, yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised whatsoever about the plying these artists with well, you know, plying them with alcohol, with other types of party favors, with substances and all that stuff. That part is not a surprise to me at all. The surprise to me is a couple of those things that he said that they were cool. I question about the timeline of when they were cool. Were they cool the whole time, even during the East Coast, West Coast stuff? Or were they cool just after all that, after we lost Biggie and Tupac, and then they decided to, you know, put down their weapons and start to drop the beef, right? Because we don't need more people losing their lives over something ridiculous like the East Side, West Side stuff, right? But then the other part is like, okay, he did say Diddy ain't dumb. He's smart enough to know how to maneuver out here in these streets. He's been able to use his influence, his power, and all that to, you know, get out of situations and all that. But the part that he said earlier on, that there was a guy named Tubby that would help him get littles. Okay, we got to use these code words, but get these littles to get involved in these parties and have these littles go and be with these artists and other movers and shakers out here in these streets is absolutely appalling, right? And of course, you got to take Suge Knight with a grain of salt. You can choose to believe what he's saying, or you could choose to think that he's just making all this up. Again, somebody called on Cuomo's show at near the end of the show, and they said, listen, just because Suge Knight is locked up doesn't mean he lost his mind. There's a lot of information and there's a lot of stuff that Suge Knight could really have knowledge of, that he could really know the truth about a lot of stuff. So again, this whole situation with Diddy and what Suge Knight knows, I mean, he could be the holder of a lot of info on that stuff. Isn't that crazy? I'm not surprised with what he's saying about Diddy. Not at all. Not surprised at all. Okay. But what say you guys on this particular impromptu, well, not impromptu, but this random interview with Cuomo? What do you think? Do you think Suge Knight has just lost his marbles, or do you think he's actually spot on? And do you believe what he's saying? Now I want to know who Tubby is. Who the hell is Tubby? Right? And then also the part that he said about, the plying artists and everyone else, it's like a ritual almost. It's a way of the way that they do things, right? You seduce these artists and these artist hopefuls, right, with substances, with the lavish lifestyle, with the money and all that, because that's what they think. It's the sex, drugs, and rock and roll type of approach to things, right? That's how you're in a lap of luxury or you're around success, is when there's an excess of those types of items at your fingertips. That's terrifying. That's absolutely terrifying. You'd think that we'd be smarter than that, us as just regular normal people, but maybe we're not that smart. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Hit that follow button if you're watching on other platforms. It'd be great to have you a part of the Pascal Show family. Anyway, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. We'll talk soon. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.
Pascal, you are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild.